What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the live. It's week 9 of the high school football season here for the IHSAA. As seasons are winding down, you're kind of getting anxious because we're just 1 week away from sectional play, and right now we have got quite the game between the number 1 team in the state, Brownsburg, and number 2 in the state, Hamilton Southeastern. With 10:37 to go in quarter number 4, it is 28-24. Brownsburg on top. It was 28-14. Brownsburg at halftime. Jaden Whitaker apparently leaves with an injury in that game. So Jake Dunn now on in relief. Attempted 5 passes all season coming into this game. So pretty wild there. Hamilton Southeastern got 10 quick points after halftime to make it 28-24. And that's where we stand right now. The Brownsburg defense has been up to the task of slowing down Hamilton Southeastern and keeping them, thwarted thus far here in the second half. It's been an interesting game. Brownsburg, it feels like Brownsburg needs to score. I don't know that their defense is going to be able to hold off Hamilton Southeastern for the entirety of this fourth quarter. I guess they did withstand the barrage from Hamilton Southeastern early on in that second half, and they've still, kind of stayed the course and have been good. But I don't know if they can get by with... I don't think 28 points is going to be enough. I think Hamilton Southeastern has another score in them, so Brownsburg needs to get on the board again. What's the score of the Cubs game? The Grizzly Cubs, Franklin Central. Let's see. How are they doing? No. Yeah, the Chicago Cubs... Dude, it's almost to a point with the Cubs that I just, I'm numb to it at this point. They've torn my... Not only did they, only win one World Series with that, dynasty of a ball club that they, were supposed to have, but also they've trading away Javi, Rizzo, KB. They've ripped my heart out. So I'm numb to it at this point. Looking at some other scores from around the state, as there's a big pass by Dunn, overthrows his receiver a little bit. Man, that would have been the score. That would have kind of been, you don't want to say it's going to be the dagger with 9:15 left in the game, but if he connects on that pass, puts Brownsburg up by 11, with 9:15 to play. That's a huge lift to your team. Penn right now over South Bend Adams, 35-6. Traders Point trails number 20 Lutheran 49-0. Fort Wayne Schneider all over Lures 44-7. Number 19 Lawrence North up on Pike 28-12. Bloomington South, the number 24 team in the state, up 35-7 on Seymour as Brownsburg has to punt, and Hamilton Southeastern will take over with 9:08 to play at about the 28-yard line. Carroll up 17-8 on Fort Wayne. Greenwood trails number 15 Whiteland 42-14. Number 8 Ben Davis up on North Central 21-6. Number 9 Fishers up 37-7 on number 13 Zionsville. Franklin Central, the Grizzly Cubs, the game you asked for. You weren't talking about any other team with Cubs as the moniker. They trail number 6 Westfield 21-7. Center Grove pulling away from Cathedral, now the number 3 team playing the number 4 team. As Hamilton Southeastern finds a hole. Oh my gosh, Hamilton Southeastern all the way down to the 27-yard line. Hamilton Southeastern, a big play there. That's huge. That's huge for Hamilton Southeastern. Their running back, number 28, that's Clayton Wilkie. He got the handoff, on a kind of a jet sweep type play. And they're kind of running a similar play here, although flags are going to come down. Yeah, that was a big one. That was a gigantic play. Let's see. I'm not sure exactly who they called that on. Okay, so they must have called that on Hamilton Southeastern, as they're now back a little bit. Going back through the scores here a little bit. You've got Carmel all over Lawrence Central, 27-0. Roncalli leads East Central just slightly, 21-19. Brebeuf running it up on Terre Haute North Vigo, 40-0. Warren Central getting beat by Christian Brothers, 38-10. Number 5 New Pal up 27-7 on Delta. Number 17 Crown Point trying to finish off the undefeated season up on Michigan City, 14-3. As Hamilton Southeastern now on second 11 inside the 20-yard line. That is big. Because that's when you've got a backup quarterback in like Brownsburg does, you're struggling to move the ball, you're struggling to do much of anything. Then you add into the element where you have to score. If Hamilton Southeastern were to get into the end zone here, that spells pretty big trouble for the number 1 team in the state. Fishers in Zionsville. Zionsville is right now getting it handed to them by number 9 Fishers. I didn't expect the score to be that lopsided. But yeah, Fishers is running it up 37-7. It's been all Tigers in that one. All Tigers in that game. So Hamilton Southeastern has it 2nd and 7 with 6:49 to play at inside the 20-yard line, inside the red zone. And I don't know what the camera work was on that play, but nevertheless, Hamilton Southeastern, number 24, that is Jalen Alexander, gets it all the way down to inside the 10-yard line, as there's an injury for Brownsburg. Go Dogs, don't like HSC. Yeah, it's Hamilton Southeastern. I've been really impressed with their season this season. And they're right on the doorstep, about to take the lead over Brownsburg, and it'll be interesting to see how they respond, because not having Jalen Whitaker is tough if you're Brownsburg. Hopefully it's not a bad injury. Hopefully he can be back for next week. They get 2 weeks off, so that's kind of the good thing for Brownsburg, is that despite whether or not they win or lose this game, they won't play again, I don't think, until October 28th. Because I think, because it's just 2 rounds for the 6A sectionals, I think they don't play the first week of the sectionals, which is next week. So they should get a couple of weeks, and hopefully Jaden Whitaker will be back for that one. Hamilton Southeastern gets the handoff. Will he get in? They do. Hamilton Southeastern scores. They take the lead 30-28 with 6:35 to play in the fourth quarter. And now Brownsburg in a situation where they have to score to stay afloat here. Hamilton Southeastern's head coach was my O-line coach at Fishers. I gotcha. So yeah, now Hamilton Southeastern up 31-28. On Brownsburg with 6:26 to play. Yeah, I've been so impressed with Hamilton Southeastern's schedule this year. They've been doing it. All right. Looking at some of the other close games here, really wanted to hone in on East Central and Roncalli, number 7 versus number 12. I mean, that's a really good one. You've got two of the best running backs in the state, Josh Ringer for East Central, Luke Hansen for Roncalli. I know that Ringer has a score on the night. Hansen's been out there doing his thing. And it was on a 6-yard touchdown run by Josh Ringer that got the Trojans within 2 in that one. So that's been a fun one between those two schools. Looking at some of the other updates here, you've got South Adams finishing the regular season 7-2 as they beat Southern Wells 49-8. West Central beating North White 34-14. Right now, Carroll leads Fort Wayne 24-8. Carmel with a pick 6 in their game. Providence falls to North Harrison 21-14. Feel bad for our guy Trevor Beast. So interesting to see how Brownsburg looks. It's a good run by Sherrill to start off the drive. Because like I said, it's one thing when you've got a backup quarterback in, you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to figure out, what, how he'll best be able to succeed. And it's one thing to do it on the fly and try to, do it up a couple of scores or, in a blowout game. But, it's 8-0 team versus 8-0 team, regular season finale. A lot of pride on the line, number 1 versus number 2, and now all of a sudden he's got to come in and try to lead what could be a go-ahead or game-winning drive. Norwell about to take the W. I got you. Who do they play tonight? I haven't seen their score. As Sherrill gets around the edge on 3rd and 5, it looks like he may pick it up. Columbia City, nice. Final from Fishers as Fishers defeats Zionsville 37-7. So now Fishers, all they have to do is start that prep. They'll be 6-3. Their first game. Who do they play in the sectionals? I forgot it doesn't show you yet for 6A. I want to say they played. I think they played Fort Wayne Northrop in the first game of the sectional. Sherrill, the running back for Brownsburg, has had some really tough runs. That's what you like to see out of your back right there. Garrett Sherrill. And you wonder why we haven't seen more of this. I think they were trying to, get Jake Dunn in passing situations when it was a 28-14, 28-21, 28-24 game for Brownsburg. But now that you're in this situation, just give your guy the rock. Give Sherrill the rock, and it's working. As this time it's going to be a run by Caleb Marcus for Brownsburg. 4:05 to play, 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. And there's another handoff to Caleb Marcus. And honestly, just keep giving him the rock, dude. There's no reason to deviate from that strategy at this point. It's kind of reminds me of opening week for the Colts with Jonathan Taylor. Like, the Texans knew Jonathan Taylor was coming. Colts knew they were going to run Jonathan Taylor. Everybody watching on TV knew it was going to be Jonathan Taylor, and they just kept running it down the Texans' throat. Obviously, a little bit more of a high profile matchup as far as, proportionate to, the level of football that we're seeing. As what I'm trying to say is obviously not the two best teams in the NFL like we're seeing the two best teams in the 6A, but you get what I'm trying to say. Although sometimes I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Timeout has been called for Brownsburg. For Hamilton Southeastern. So they'll regroup, get some stuff figured out here. Another final to update you guys on. Penn beats Adams 35-7. So that gives Penn a 7-2 record on the season. Another handoff here for Brownsburg. And, I mean, it's working. And, this defense for Brownsburg, too, they're saying Brownsburg fumbled here. And, of course, it's old school in high school football, obviously, as far as, nothing you can review. Once the ruling's made, it's made. Wow. Right now, Caleb Marcus has been running really well. I've been really impressed with his runs. Because, everybody in the building knows it's going to be a run, and he just keeps making the right moves, finding the holes, bouncing inside and out. Another handoff here, this time to Sherrill. He's inside the 10-yard line. And there's an injury for Hamilton Southeastern now. Which gives us an opportunity to look and dive into, what else is going on. Penn, we said they got the win. They're 7-2. Their two losses this year to Cathedral, 21-35, and Cincinnati St. Xavier, 35-10. So, you look at their wins, 35-6 opening week against Valpo, 31-6 over Portage, 21-20 over Elkhart, who's a good team. And heck, they only allowed 7 points, and those 7 points came tonight in their last 3 games of the season. Only allowed 1 touchdown through the final 4 weeks of the season, which is pretty nuts. So that Penn defense has come to play here in these closing weeks of the season. Let's see. It's now 31-8. Carroll over Fort Wayne. Lawrenceburg with the shutout, 31-0 tonight in their game. And apparently East Central is driving as well. Once Hamilton Southeastern and Brownsburg ends, we'll flip over to another game. Hey, what's going on, Drake? So 2:32 to play, second down and 8. It's another handoff. And I guess, I've been geared up in my head thinking that this has got to be 4-down territory. You got to score a touchdown here. Let's see what Brownsburg looks like field goal-wise this year. Because I don't usually think about kicking when it comes to high school sports or high school football because I've called enough. Here's it's 3rd down and 8. I've called enough high school football to know, at 1A and 2A where kicking isn't as prominent as Brownsburg's going to get a timeout here. I've called enough 1A and 2A football where I'm not even thinking about kicking late in the game. And I don't know that anyone for Brownsburg has attempted a field goal this year. Have they? Nick Berry. But it doesn't show. It shows total points, field goals. It just shows him for one field goal along of 24 this year. But he's 35 on PATs, so, and I mean, where they're at on the football field, it's pretty much a PAT. But obviously, you want to get the touchdown here because you still got Hamilton Southeastern sitting there with 2 timeouts, 1:46 left. The defense for Brownsburg has been up to the task. As here's the 3rd down and 8 play. Dunn drops back. His throw, it's a fade to the corner, and it's knocked away by the Hamilton Southeastern defense. And I mean, to their credit, Brownsburg had to throw it there. I mean, there's a case to be made for the run. Maybe you go for that pass on 2nd down as opposed to 3rd. But, you know, maybe if you run a draw play there, you have an opportunity to kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone and run the clock down pretty far, as it is going to be Nick Berry to attempt the field goal. Snap, ball down, kick on its way, and it's blocked. Wow. Hamilton Southeastern blocks the kick and retains the lead, or holds up the lead here. Wow. Wow. Incredible. Oh, I typed in blocked punt. It's blocked field goal, Craig. And this is the kind of format I want to have our lives be on Friday nights. Gonna do this all throughout the sectional as well. That was incredible, though. And that gives you all the momentum. I mean, you hope if you're Brownsburg, you've got something. If you're, the coaching staff for the Bulldogs right now, you're hyping up your guy, Jake Dunn, because if they can manage to get the ball back, if they do, they may not. It's, if they're down to 1 timeout, 2nd and 7, they'll call a time. If they stop them on this play, they'll call a timeout. Maybe there'll be about 1:18 left. So if they do get the ball back, it'll only be for a play or 2, and you're going to have to rely, obviously, on the arm of your inexperienced quarterback. So 1:14, timeout Brownsburg. So yeah, if you make the stop, it's like 3rd and, let's see, they're at the 31, they got to get to the 34, so it's 3rd and 3. Brownsburg is going to have to make the stop, but if they can make the stop, it should reset to 40 seconds. Let's see, 4 About 4 seconds ran off there. So you're talking about a minute 9-ish, minute 10-ish. When the whistle blows, you reset the clock. Yeah, it's going to be maybe 30 seconds that you're going to have. And then you're lucky if you've got that much time. And Hamilton Southeastern is going to get a first down. Oh, no, the ball gets out. The ball is free. Are they going to rule that? Or are they going to say he's down? Wow. It looked like it may have been a fumble. At least that's how Brownsburg was reacting. But regardless, that's a first down for Hamilton Southeastern. First undefeated season since 2006. That's incredible. Heartbreak for Brownsburg as they will fall to 8-1 on the season. Number 2 will go into their state finals run at number 1. That's incredible. Hamilton Southeastern with the win. They're going to be undefeated for the first time since 2006. Incredible. Hamilton Southeastern outscores Brownsburg 17-0 in the second half. Claiming their first undefeated season since 2006. Incredible. So there's that game. Let's see. Let's see if there's Yorktown versus Mount Vernon. Let's see if that loads. I just want to see if that is a thing. I live near Yorktown, so hey, that is on there. Although Mount Vernon up 56-38 on Yorktown right now. So big blowout going on there. Let's see. Can we find? Let's see if we can't find Roncalli, the Roncalli game. If not, we'll let's see. Center Grove Sports Network, is that locked? My login's required. Okay, that's fine. We didn't want to know about that game anyway. Just kidding. We did want to know about that game. We'll keep up to date on all of the games. All of the games is what we're looking at right now. Eastern Hancock and Lapel, Weibo, Danville, Sullivan. I thought I saw Roncalli and East Central earlier on the list on the IHSAA. Those games are locked, which is fine. But yeah, incredible win for Hamilton Southeastern. I wasn't sure about jumping on the bandwagon. You always are a little hesitant, in that kind of situation, just because you just never know how good, like early on in the year they were racking up the wins, and you're just kind of like, they beat Lawrence Central at the beginning of the year. They beat North Central and Avon, who are on hard times. They get that narrow victory against Fishers, and I think that's when you kind of knew. Following that up with a win over Westfield, those games are when you kind of knew that they were for real. So a very incredible season for them. Tri-West with the big win over Southmont. What was Northwood's final score against Goshen? Let me see if I can't find that. If they updated their stuff. Last update from Northwood was Northwood up on Goshen in the second quarter, 42-0. So I don't know that there's a final. It was from an hour ago, so it's probably not gone final. But I would venture to say that game is well is well in hand by Northwood. I would not sweat it. Northwood would, of course, finish out the season 9-0. If they can finish off the shutout, that would be back-to-back shutouts, because they won 57-0 against Wawasee last week. And to expound on that, they would have allowed only 6 points in the final month of the season. They shut out Plymouth, they shut out Wawasee, and only allowed 6 points against Mishawaka. I'm really annoyed. I thought I saw the East Central Roncalli game on the IHSAA list of affiliates here. So, it's one of those things. Do you ever have those things where you thought you had something and then now you can't find it, and it doesn't matter? It's you could say oh, Craig, just go find another game. It's no, I thought I saw the game that I wanted to watch and now I can't find it. It's personal now. But nevertheless, we're going to try to keep up to date with that here. Harrison wins their game. The Raiders are back-to-back NCC champs. Roncalli does hold on for the win. That might be why I can't find their game, because it's literally over. They win 21-19 over East Central. So Roncalli gets the win there. All right, so we'll see if we can't find a good game here to keep an eye on. Some of these games are wrapping up, which is the whole point. That's the whole point of coming on now. And somebody was talking about Norwell, again, their game against Columbia City. Ooh, and with 20 seconds to go, Columbia City with the 25-24 lead on Norwell. That's interesting. Wow. Columbia City 7-1 going into this game against undefeated Norwell. And Columbia City, Norwell, I think, has the ball with 20 seconds left. Nope, Columbia City has the ball. So Columbia City about to kneel on it and get the win over Norwell. The Eagles grabbing the win. What a win for Columbia City. (25-24) the final. So there's that game there. Let's just go down the list here. Let's see what New Albany and Floyd Central are doing right now. Time to get caught back up on the scores here. Again, Brownsburg falls, the number 1 team in the state, falls 31-28 to Hamilton Southeastern. Penn, the number 23 team in Indiana, wins 35-7 over South Bend Adams. Traders Point falls to number 20 Indianapolis Lutheran 62-8. Floyd Central beats New Albany 20-14. Fort Wayne Schneider, number 22. They beat Fort Wayne Bishop Luers 52-7. Lawrence North and Pike, that the score bug there says that's still in the second quarter. I don't believe that. Bloomington South wins 42-14 over Seymour. Number 15 Whiteland 42-14 over Greenwood. Fishers, the number 9 team in the state, defeats the number 13 in the state, Zionsville 37-7. Ben Davis all over North Central 42-6, the number 8 team in the state. Close one between Cathedral and Center Grove, as Center Grove is leading right now 29-26. Westfield up on Franklin Central 24-13, number 6 versus number 18. Carmel, the number 10 team in the state, beats the number 11 team in the state. Lawrence Central 27-7. Brebeuf over Terre Haute North Vigo 40-0. Roncalli beats East Central 21-19. New Pal all over Delta 47-7. Warren Central having a tough time against Christian Brothers 52-25, and Crown Point now pulling away from Michigan City 28-3. Crown Point, they're 8-0. They've been a surprise team to me, at least. Let's see, when's the last time they went undefeated? If they have, they may not have gone undefeated. Undefeated regular season would be 2006 as well. So we have 2 teams that are going to be undefeated for the first time, in 16 years, which is pretty incredible. Let's see, we know that game's over. How's Martinsville doing? I don't know that that's anything. That's just... Okay. Is Yorktown, Mount Vernon still going? Yeah, Mount Vernon right now. It's been an exciting ball game. If you're on the north side, if you're north of Muncie right now watching Yorktown, you're at least, even though Yorktown is losing, you're getting treated to a good ball game as Mount Vernon's up 63-45. You're seeing a lot of points, a lot of offense. Go Dogs don't like HSC. Yeah, I mean, it was a rough circumstance. I mean, you lose Jaden Whitaker. You're up 28-14 at the half. You're hoping to hold on. To Brownsburg's credit, the defense did play really well. I mean, there was the first, about 10, not 10 minutes, but the first, 4 or 5 minutes or so of the second half, Hamilton Southeastern, really was hard charging. They got, a touchdown. It was a big touchdown. It was 28-21. Then they got the ball back. They got a field goal. And in the blink of an eye, it seemed like it went from 28-14 to 28-24. And then the defense for Brownsburg settled in. And they played really well. It was just, how was Brownsburg going to figure things out with a backup quarterback? And, you're trying to figure it out. You're kind of trying to learn on the fly. I mean, your backup, Jake Dunn, has only attempted 5 passes on the season for 8 yards, 2 completions. So you're trying to figure that out. And the offense never came to fruition. And the best drive that you had in the second half was their final drive, where they get all the way down to about the Royal 8-yard line, and they're forced to kick a field goal. You had a situation where basically, the new guy is forced to throw the ball and is not able to convert. And throws a fader out. I mean, it was a decent pass to the corner on the fader out. Hamilton Southeastern just really played it well defensively, and then that forces a field goal. Great job by HSC to get back there and get the block, and that's how it shakes out. So, if you're a Brownsburg fan, if you're rooting for Brownsburg, you're just hoping that you can get Jaden Whitaker back for the postseason. You luck out in the sense that the 6A postseason won't start for another couple of weeks. So you're hoping that with that bye, he'll be able to go. Because if not, I mean, after this magical season that Brownsburg has had, I mean, you're talking to someone who in the preseason show, on the Crash Course podcast, the beginning of the year was like, this is, he was saying, this is my dark horse team. This is my team I think, has an outside chance to win the 6A title. And there's a chance that they could lose, go 8-0 on the season, be looking, like the toughest team in the state. And all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, within 3 weeks, they go from the top team in the state to their season's over. And we're not even out of sectionals. Should I start Ken Walker or Godwin? Start Kenneth Walker. There's no more insight I can give. Just do it. Even though, I mean, Look, I wouldn't. I'm a little salty on Kenneth Walker right now. I'm in a league where you bid on waiver claims. So you put in, however much dollar amount you want to, try to spend in free agency before they clear waivers. And it's at $1,000 limit. I put 125 on Kenneth Walker. I need some running back help on my team. Najee Harris has underperformed. Zeke has underperformed. So I wanted some help there. And so I put in 125. I was like, that might be a little too conservative, but I also don't want to break the bank. And the guy that got him, literally spent their whole entire budget, $1,000, on Kenneth Walker. So I'm a little salty about that because I feel like 125, it was pretty close to the vest, but at the same time, I was like, no one's going to spend more than 100 on him, right? That's not going to happen. And then, somebody literally, uses their entire budget on waivers, their entire waiver budget on Kenneth Walker. So I'm a little salty, but I do think he's going to have a good game. So Mount Vernon, they finish it off a game where there was 107 points scored, 65-43 over Yorktown. Let's see how Linton and South Putnam are doing. That broadcast has been delayed. They're whatever, so they're not playing. Lures, Homestead at Southside. So, yeah, pretty much everybody kind of wrapping up. I think a lot of these games are pretty much done as the season is wrapping up. Let's see, yeah. Should be getting some finals rolling in. More finals rolling in, I should say. Let's try one more game here. See if the Andrean game is still streaming here. I feel a little responsible for Brownsburg's downfall, too, because I was doing the cliche thing where I was like, oh, they've only attempted one field goal, and he's Nick Perry, the kicker for Brownsburg, has not missed an extra point. And from where they are in the field right now, they've not missed, he's not missed an extra point on all year, and that's essentially an extra point. Lowell and Andrean, as Lowell leads Andrean right now. It says into the third, but they're literally playing, so they just haven't updated the scoreboard, but that's a shocker. Lowell over Andrean right now. Lowell, a 5-3 team. Lost to Hobart on the season, lost to New Prairie on the season. They were housed opening week, 42-0 by Crown Point. Definitely didn't see, this would be their fourth straight win if they can hold on. Although here's a big pass, and it's incomplete. I thought it was heaving it deep, but it's out of bounds. If that score does hold, that means those two teams are 6-3. Lowell improves to 6-3, and Andrean falls to 6-3. Be Andrean's first loss since August. They lost both their games in August to Maryville and Crown Point. To be fair, this is an Andrean team that is 2A, but literally, 5A Maryville, 6A Crown Point, 4A East Central, or East Chicago Central, 4A Highland, 4A Hobart, 5A Munster, 4A. They literally didn't play a 2A opponent. They won't play a 2A opponent until they get into sectional play. You get seasoned all year by playing above your class, and then come tournament time, not necessarily easier, but definitely not the toughest teams you've faced all year. Yeah, tough to see. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe they'll show a scoreboard. Brownsburg lost. They did. That was interesting. I mean, losing Jaden Whitaker's tough. That's how. I mean, it's tough. That's how sports goes. Sometimes you have an amazing season. Injuries, they happen to everybody, and sometimes they happen at the beginning of the year, and you've got time to get healthy and get right, and then sometimes they happen at the little end of the year, and you got to figure things out. And I mean, Hamilton Southeastern gets it done. So, like I was saying earlier, it's a situation where it could go from, hey, you're 8-0, you're the number one team in the state, things are looking really good, to a couple of weeks later, they lost, in the sectionals to Ben Davis. Because, I mean, even with, even with Jaden Whitaker, that was a really close game early in the year against Ben Davis and Brownsburg. So, even with Brownsburg at full force, that was close. So who knows what that'll have in store here in a couple of weeks. Who won Center Grove and Cathedral? I was trying to find score updates for that. Let's see if I've got anything. Wow. So there was a Danny O'Neill touchdown pass to Brennan Wooten, 60-yard touchdown pass, and the Irish went up 40-29 with 18 seconds. So it looks like Cathedral's going to pull out the win. That's incredible. So Cathedral's going to get the win. Wow, that one shocked me a little. Me too, especially because for the majority of the game, I mean, Center Grove seemed to be controlling it most of the game, and yet here comes Cathedral. I mean, that Cathedral offense is so good. You've got so much talent with O'Neill and Jerron Tibbs. I mean, man, I feel like this postseason is going to be so much fun. I mean, not to say that it's not fun other years, but, in the past, especially at the top, the past couple of years, I mean, literally at 6A and 5A, you had, back-to-back years of the same teams playing for the state championship. Center Grove over Westfield 2 years in a row, and Cathedral over Zionsville 2 years in a row. And, of course, Cathedral and Zionsville both move up to 6A. So you add that to an already stacked field at 6A. I mean, it's going to be fun. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm very shocked by that Cathedral score. Yeah, Cathedral ends up getting the win, 40-29. Incredible. I wonder, so I'm interested to see something here. Center Grove, where are they at on here? They're right there. Because they've lost, that's what, their second loss on the season? Yeah, that's their second loss. They lost to Louisville Trinity of Kentucky. When's the last time Center Grove lost to a team from the state of Indiana? Because they were 28-0 back-to-back, undefeated 2020, undefeated 2021. Their last loss to a team from the state of Indiana was November 30th, 2019 against Carmel. Incredible. We beat North Central 42-6, but I mean it's North Central. We're preparing for Brownsburg now. Yeah, that game's in 2 weeks, right? Because you guys take a week. You guys, because there's only 32 teams at 6A, so you guys get the week off before playing because you guys basically just skip ahead to the semifinals, right? Yeah, we got to buy them. We play, and that'll be nice. I mean, you've grinded through this season, 9 weeks. So it'll be nice to get a week off, get healthy, rest up, and then right out of the gate, what will likely be the number 2, number 3 team in the state. Do they have Jaden Whitaker? Do they not have Jaden Whitaker? You guys obviously are super tough. That last Center Grove loss was against Carmel in the state title game. Yeah, that's nuts. Westfield or Carmel in the sectionals? It's what, sectional 4, right? That's a tough one. Yeah, Jaden's out for the next week and a half or so. Well, that'll actually... That should mean he's ready to go for Ben Davis, though, right? Because you guys, there's 2 weeks off, so... I mean, obviously, practice, he won't be able to practice, which is also not great, obviously, but at least that's a relatively good prognosis to the extent that you don't think he's going to be out for until regionals or something like that. Yeah, we got next week as a bye, yeah. So that's the good thing about that. But yeah, that's wild. First loss for Center Grove against the state of Indiana since the state championship game in 2019. I can't type. See if we can get some more scores before we get out of here. Carroll over Fort Wayne, 45-8. Shenandoah beats Monroe Central, 27-6. North Decatur finishes out the season 9-0 for the first time in school history. So they get the win. Of course, Cathedral over Center Grove. New Prairie over Elkhart, 35-7. Crown Point all over Michigan City, 35-3. We will come back next year. Yeah. Well, I mean, heck, this year's not over. By any stretch of the imagination. Gibson Southern up 21-14 on Boonville. Fremont up 28. Well, it says 21-14 Gibson Southern at halftime. I'm assuming that's past halftime. There we go. Show me top 25. Yeah, this year isn't over by any stretch of the imagination. Because, I mean, you'd like to think, too, that you give Jake Dunn, a couple of weeks, get those reps with the first team, if Jaden's not able to go. The running game still performed really well. Especially on that last drive, the running game was in good shape. So, yeah, I don't think the book is closed on this season. Defense played well, with the exception of that first half of the third quarter. It was a little rough, but once they settled in, they played well. So yeah, I'm not ready to say never on Brownsburg making a run, especially when it sounds like especially when it seems like the injury to Whitaker or Jaden Whitaker isn't all that bad. Owen Valley beat Cloverdale 69-13. Owen Valley, an incredible season for them. South will be entertaining in 6A. Yeah, the 6A, like I was saying a little bit earlier, I mean, the postseason is just going to be so much fun, especially, with the results we see tonight. Hamilton Southeastern gets the win over Brownsburg. You see Fishers with a win over Zionsville, which they did in impressive fashion, 37-7. Carmel, finishing out the season with a big win over Lawrence Central. You've got Hamilton Southeastern over Brownsburg. Just in general, the entirety of 6A, 5A, I mean, all of the state tournaments, honestly, are going to be very entertaining. Because, I mean, we've witnessed, back-to-back years of Westfield, Center Grove, Zionsville, Cathedral. And now, I don't know. Heck, I don't know who I'm picking on the sectional. I mean, I'm not going to pick as, we already picked our state championship picks. I'm not going to make, when we do our sectional preview show, we're just going to be picking the sectionals. But, I mean, just insane stuff. Let's see. I want to see that. I wonder if John Harrell's posted the bracket for this year. 2022 brackets, yes. The Westfield Center Grove game last year was insane. It really was. I was kicking myself last year because the covering high school sports is kind of a new venture for us at 3C Media. I really enjoyed we've enjoyed it so far, and we were live for Cathedral Zionsville. Cathedral absolutely, takes Zionsville behind the woodshed, wins that game in impressive fashion. We're going to have a live for the Center Grove Westfield game, but we decided not to. And then that ends up being the most of those two games ends up being the most entertaining. Okay, so I'm gathering the South is the right-hand side of the bracket because you have Brownsburg, Ben Davis, Avon, and Pike, Lawrence North, Indy Cathedral, North Central, Lawrence Central, Indianapolis Tech, Prairie Meridian, Warren Central, Southport, Center Grove, Franklin Central, Columbus North, and Jeffersonville. But yeah, that's, I mean, all the classes I think are going to be fun to watch for the postseason this year. Lowell scores again on Andrean, so Lowell's about to be up 3 scores on Andrean. Kind of surprising turn of events there. So, pretty crazy. All right, guys, as games start to wrap up here, we'll do one more look at the scoreboard if you're just checking in to the live. Hamilton Southeastern, number 2 team in the state, defeats Brownsburg 31-28. Number 23 Penn wins 35-7 over South Bend Adams. Number 22 Fort Wayne Snyder 52-7 winners over Bishop Luers. Number 20 Indianapolis Lutheran over Traders Point 62-8. Bloomington South winners over Seymour 42-14. Whiteland 42-14 winners over Greenwood. Number 14 Carroll defeats Fort Wayne 45-8. I think Carroll is going to have a good postseason. Number 9 Fishers 37-7 winners for number 13 Zionsville. Number 8 Ben Davis, they win 42-6 over North Central. Cathedral with an impressive win, number 4 team in the state over number 3 Center Grove. That was an insane game where it was, I think, 29-23. Center Grove at one point. Center Grove was commanding that game, and back comes Cathedral. Carmel wins over Lawrence Central 27-7. Roncalli defeats East Central 21-19. Number 5 New Pal 40-point winners over Delta 47-7. And Crown Point over Michigan City right now 38-3. So that'll do it for tonight's live. I appreciate you guys hanging out, getting the scores updates with us, and that kind of thing. Schedule for the rest of the weekend and beyond. Tomorrow we've got a Colts video coming out on the YouTube channel. Make sure you're locked in over there, 3C Media. We did hit 100 subscribers over there, so if you haven't gone over there to take a look at it yet, go over there, subscribe, ring the bell. We've got content coming out. If you missed any point of the live tonight, you will also be able to check that out on Sunday. We'll release that in its entirety on Sunday, so if you missed us at any point reacting to any of the games tonight, you can check us out then. No Crash Course podcast this week, but there will be 2 videos as we're going to do our all 3C Media team for the end of the regular season, checking back in with that roster, as well as our sectional preview. That'll come out on Thursday, and then we'll be live again on next Friday. I think I liked going live tonight at 9, going 9 to 10 as opposed to last week when we went 9:30 to 10:30, just because that way we're literally watching the end of games. Next week will be a little bit shorter as far as, I have family in town, as Andrean's going to get a kickoff return all the way down to the Lowell 37-yard line, and they're going to get a horse collar tackle there. That's pretty interesting. I haven't decided. I mean, as the tournament goes on, we'll probably be live for a little longer, just because obviously the games will be ramping up quite a bit as far as importance and that kind of thing. So, but I do plan on being live for the entirety of the state finals run, not like 24/7, but every Friday and Saturday as we wind down the season. Or wind down into the postseason here. So we'll be live again next Friday as sectionals will kick off. And that's kind of how the week looks from our standpoint. So thanks for hanging into the live here. Make sure you follow us at 3C Media Sports on Twitter. Like us on Facebook, 3C Media. Again, go check out the YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube right now, go check out the TikTok. That's what's going on right now. We're live on TikTok at this moment. Not when you watch this on YouTube though, but go check us out on TikTok anyway. You guys have been killing it over here, so go kill it out over on YouTube as well, as we just hit 100 subscribers. Very happy about that. And then make sure you listen to the Crash Course podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. That comes out. We won't have a podcast this week, but we'll be talking Pacers here in a couple of weeks as that season ramps up. So a lot of content coming down the pike for you guys. But until then, have a good one, everybody.